All right, welcome to the next panel of the American Dream. For those of you who don't know, we've made a shift with our show, moving into Zoom style as we all are during this COVID. Throughout the last couple of years, I've traveled the country, had a front row seat to the best brokers in cities all across the country, 52 in total, top producers, award-winning realtors and mortgage professionals. So I'm really excited about today's panel because you're going to hear from the best from the East Coast to the West Coast. Joining us, we have Jason Mitchell, the Jason Mitchell Group out of Phoenix. What's up, Jason?
Gentlemen, how we doing?
Peter Contraforis, you're out of the Jersey and New York City marketplace, which has been really impacted. Good to have you as well.
Thank you, Craig.
And Ralph DiBagnera, which you're not on the real estate side, you're on the finance side. Good to have you as well.
Yes, good to be here, Craig. Thanks.
Yes, these guys get to help people find their dream home. You actually help them finance it, which is, without the money, go very far. Well, let's start with just the nature of your guys' marketplace. Obviously, we're in unprecedented times. Having experienced this with our show, which is a very real show, meeting the professionals that are the voice for their markets, it's been fascinating for me to see the difference in how different cities are reacting, both personally, professionally, and what needs to happen specifically to real estate. So let's just go around and tell us a little bit about what's going on in your market. I'll start with you, Jason. What's it like in Phoenix?
Yeah, surprisingly, Phoenix, the past several months have continued to remain just electric. In the conventional markets, that is. We're seeing showings slow down in the jumbo range, in the luxury side. I think that's expected. Products and programs are simply not available. Ralph can probably comment more on that than I can. But conventionally, your typical $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 purchases out here in Phoenix hasn't slowed down a tick. In fact, I would argue it's up. It's allowed people that have been, Craig, getting pushed around in the marketplace from multiple offers or cash offers. It's allowed people that have been getting beat up to actually re-enter the marketplace and actually buy a home. And, Phoenix has not lost a step when it comes to transactional based. So, we're very fortunate in that.
It's unbelievable. And Phoenix is a really populated city. It's incredible to me how much different its function than these other cities. But I am hearing across the country that real estate's doing really, really well in a lot of these markets. Now, on the other side of it, if we're talking about the East Coast, completely different. New York is still shut down. Jersey, I think, is a little bit more through the thick of it than New York is. But Peter, what are you seeing?
Kind of just to elaborate what Jason said, in New Jersey, it really doesn't seem like anything has changed besides the first probably month. I still continue to be busy, fortunately. The New York market, where I'm also licensed, is a little bit more up in the air. It's different with showings and whatnot. We're not really supposed to be there. But Jersey, it seems like there's 5 buyers for every single house. I'll be honest with you. I listed a house up in Vernon Township last week, and we had probably within 3 days over 30 showings, and we collected about 7 offers. I wasn't even seeing that before this whole thing happened. So it was surprising to me, but again, it's not surprising at the same time because I feel like a lot of people are getting out of the New York City market and coming into North Jersey where I am. And, it's been good. It's a little bit harder. We have to do a little bit more things like 3D, a little bit more image, like video stuff. But, it's been pretty good from, on my end. So fortunate about it.
Well, even pre-COVID, the way that people tend to shop for real estate anymore is it starts online before it actually gets face-to-face. So a lot of these things, I think, have just accentuated what was already happening because now it has to happen. The virtual tours, more video content, people are shopping online. They might buy in person. Amazon proved that point. Amazon is the first retail shop bookstore that didn't own a shop until they studied consumer behavior. And though people are shopping online, they like to buy in person. I think COVID has forced real estate to shift in how it does business. Do you think it'll get back to normal? Or do you think, and Jason, I want to hear from you on this as well. And I don't even know if Jason, you guys have you shifted more to a virtual model at all in Phoenix, or is it just really business as usual?
No, and we operate in 14 states right now. Ralph is actually a big partner of ours, so I get a feel from we're in Texas, we're in Washington, we're in California, we're in New York, we're in New Jersey, we're in Florida, we're in Michigan. So I get a taste of what's going on, and look, there's a lot of shifting to where I think truly what it becomes is an option to the seller more than it is an option to the buyer, in the sense that a buyer certainly can have, like Craig, you have new technology that you're introducing that is, I think, amazing, right? I really do. I love the product I saw a couple of weeks ago. What I think that does is it allows you to present more options at the listing table to obtain a listing, rather than so much helping on the buy side. Like, everybody thinks these virtual tours are for buyers, but that's not necessarily true. Virtual tours are for sellers to show off their home. And when you can find an opportunity to give choice, that look, we can offer these great virtual tours to mitigate potential people coming in your home. However, I do think once we have a buyer that's close, they will ultimately look. I don't care what anybody says. If you're spending $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $700,000, you're going to want to walk through a home. I wouldn't buy. I've been doing this 17 years. I wouldn't buy a home unless I walked through it. I'm sorry, I wouldn't, and I don't think anybody would. But it's the same as the iBuyer concept. If we can present choice, we can get you out now, or we can refer you to a partner of ours. At least we're giving you options. And I truly believe that's where a lot of this virtual technology comes into play, as you just become a competitive advantage against your competitors, because you have great technology like you're introducing, Craig, and the ability to offer both. That's, in my opinion, that's where this thing really is assisting listing agents in the field.
Ralph, so you're on the finance side, man. So very different for you. In fact, you can do business outside of Jersey, I believe, but
50 states.
Yeah, how has financing been affected? Let's start there.
The jumbo market was affected a little bit, and it's starting to come back to normal. I think what you've seen, 90% of the products that we were using, Fannie, Freddie, FHA, is still available. So for the majority of Americans, you could still buy a home the same way you could buy before this started. Where I think you're going to see something that's going to affect real estate is that a lot of the loans that were fix and flip loans or investor specific loans, where these guys were getting financing and just kind of using a strategy to build properties, have dried up a lot. And what I'm seeing now is that those loans are being sold for 80, 85 cents on a dollar to the street. So I think what you're going to see there is a lot of unfinished homes that's going to create inventory. And that's from the finance side. So there's a lot of loans that are either pre-foreclosure or foreclosure on the investment side already that will hit the market at some point as inventory, which I think will help the inventory shortage. So that's interesting. But as far as financing goes, we're pretty much business as usual. A couple of changes, but nothing drastic where it's going to affect people's ability to finance their homes.
Well, it's a Rubik's Cube. A lot of the things that might seem awful are actually good in for other reasons. I mean, I could give you a really good example of that. This bad news in the market has pushed mortgage rates down, right? So there are jobs being lost, unemployment, but when you have interest rates, I mean, where are we at now, Ralph? Where are we ballparking?
Low threes, high twos, low threes. The FHA rates are in the high twos. So money's really, really cheap right now. So low threes is realistic right now. The average this week that'll come out, I guarantee, will be under 3.5 for average. Crazy. So it's wow. Crazy. And as far as New York City goes, what I'm hearing is opening even for office space. Some places are keeping their offices, but then spread out. Less people are going to be there. My wife works on Wall Street. They're going back, but they're going out in a spread out format. So it's going to be less people in the office space. So then you still need less office space. Even if they're reopening different. So I just think that, Jason hit on the head. It's going to change people's lives on both sides of the coin. But yeah, mortgage rates, even with the election coming up, I don't see them going anywhere. I really don't.
They almost can at this point. It's almost impossible for them to, especially, when you print the amount of money that we just printed in this country, like rates are going to stay low for a significant amount of time. And now that doesn't create urgency in the marketplace, but what it does is it allows you to say, okay, instead of me putting money in the market, maybe I will buy an investment property. If I can get a 2.99 on a 20% down investment, maybe I'll buy an investment property in New Jersey. I might not have to move there, but I believe in the appreciation that could be there. And by the way, I can get a 2.99% rate. I mean, there's no reason not to invest in real estate at this point, because real estate's not going to take real estate, the exception of the super luxury side of things. I don't believe personally that real estate's going to take a hit. I don't.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And no matter what goes on, I think this panel illustrates that you better be connected with a great professional, no matter what you're looking to do: buy, sell, move out of market, or just sit there and hold. It is critically important. You're talking about finances, big dollar amounts, shifting markets. These guys on our panel, I want to remind you, they're award-winning professionals. You should connect with them in their market. In parting, guys, anything as advice specifically to your market?
Come to Phoenix, baby.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think in this market, I think you have to be decisive because there's going to be bidding wars now. Peter's probably seeing it more than I am, but we're seeing more and more pre-approvals than we've seen in 4 months. We're the busiest we've been, even with the market shutdown. And there's bidding wars on everything. So I think have a price point, know what you want, know what you can actually afford, and go after it. But Peter, you can probably speak to that as far as what you're seeing as far as bidding.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like being a real estate professional on that side, I think key is now getting the listings, because it's so hard when you're going in with one buyer that there's 10 offers on a property. But if you have the listing, you can kind of control it a little bit more and maybe have like a pocket listing or something. Like the key is, I think, the inventory, and I'm starting to see the inventory come up a little bit, but that's been the key, my last year in the business, getting a lot of buyers as well, but really trying to get as much of the inventory as possible.
Well, it's been a really fascinating world, and with all the complications, the negativity, there's certainly silver linings personally and professionally for everyone. I appreciate you guys coming in here, giving us some real advice.
Hey, Craig, real quick, I want to say something to you and to our boy Seth.
Here we go.
You guys are doing an amazing job for not only the people in the real estate space, but in the mortgage space as well. And even as far as to title, you guys are really changing a lot of things. You're bringing content, valuable information. And as a real estate professional, I want to say thank you to you and Seth for everything you guys do, and your team behind you too, Craig. You guys are doing an amazing job.
I appreciate that. And, really to summarize that and piggyback on the compliment, thank you. The thing that was always at the core of the American Dream is we never wanted to be a reality show. We wanted to be a real show. And there's no better way to give real information, combat negative news and media, than bringing high-level professionals on who can actually tell you what's really going on in the market, not just sensationalizing it for ratings. So thanks for recognizing that. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on the American Dream. Until next time.
Thank you.